Law and Order Imaginary Friend. Happy, a new series on Syfy, is a Christmas tale about a ghostly being who tries to inspire a selfish cynic to do a good deed. The Scrooge, in this case, is a cop-turned-hit man who dreams of blowing his own head off and says things like, "My life is an ever-swirling toilet that just won't flush." His spirit guide is a chirpy powder blue flying unicorn who says things like, "Oops, I pooped. God bless us, everyone." Based on a comic book series by Grant Morrison and Darick Robertson, the decidedly adult Happy has been turned into a television show that's live-action except for Happy, the animated unicorn voiced by Patton Oswalt. His co-star, and the entire reason for watching the show, is an actor who knows from hard-bitten cynics, Christopher Meloni, who for 12 seasons played TV's angriest cop, Elliot Stabler, on Law and Order, SVU. The books were compact and straightforward, using Happy to send up the violent, hard-boiled crime comic but otherwise staying true to the genre's look and feel. Mr. Morrison and Mr. Robertson, working with the showrunner Patrick McManus, have made a lot of changes for the screen. Some, such as adding plot and expanding backstories, and making the copious violence a little less graphic, were necessary. Others were optional, and that's where the casting of Mr. Meloni comes in. He was, in a sense, a perfect fit. Nick Sachs, the tough guy of Happy, could be the post-SVU Elliot Stabler, after a few years and a lot of drinks. But the Sachs of the books is probably a little too much like Stabler. The only thing that makes sense is for Mr. Meloni to thoroughly send up his own persona, which he does, and in the process Happy becomes more broadly comedic, with a higher dose of fashionable pop surrealism, than it was on paper. And Mr. Meloni rises to the occasion. In previous roles, like the post-traumatic cook of Wet Hot American Summer or the domineering father of Surviving Jack, he's amped up his natural intensity for comic effect. But here he relaxes in the more familiar surroundings and he's funnier as a result. He's also adept at what must be the tedious business of playing scenes with Happy, who zips around the screen. The basis of the story remains from the comics. Happy is the imaginary friend of a girl named Haley, and when she's kidnapped by a very bad Santa, he flies off to find Nick, who was a hero cop before he was a hitman. Nick has troubles of his own, involving a mob boss and his sadistic henchman, the always energizing Patrick Fischler, and a highly unlikely partnership is born. Syfy provided only 2 episodes for review, so it remains to be seen how the show will change up the fatalism and sentimentality, and finality, of the comic's ending. It could run out of ideas fast, but watching Mr. Meloni argue with a cartoon unicorn probably won't get old.